Hello, and welcome to tonight's episode of Star Trek Reliant, the second part in this time travel Western series. Before we get started with our introductions, let's go ahead and go through our cast here. Starting off with one JB playing Chorog, security officer.
Yo, how you doing? I'm
And we
Charles the pirate.
and we've got Nick playing Dr. Eli O'Connor.
That's me. I'm under the weather, but I'm here.
Yay! Sending medical tardigrades. They're very plush and huggable.
Yay.
Then we've got our con officer, played by Jarlin Karajunrani.
Quit sounding professional. People are going to get the wrong idea about what's in store.
Yay! Then we've got Baz playing Chief Engineer Rick Tier.
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance.
And a special guest, Sal playing.
Well, howdy there, stranger. Hi. My actual name is Sammy. Sal's the name of another character I play in something else, but that's irrelevant right now.
Oh, aren't you also playing Sal, a character named Sal?
Yes, I may or may not be playing a character named Sal in two different games right now, but this is this game. Hi.
Yay, well, we keep things simple. So, to recap on last week, the team had been sent to the past, I believe it was 1899, in Colorado, a small town, where they were told a dilithium signature had been detected. So, to avoid undue mishap, we have gone to investigate said signature, and the town it was located in. We beamed down, talked with someone who was possibly Hazra, as well as a couple of characters at the bar, and also the barkeep himself. Throughout all that, the team has just spent a night at the local inn, and we have overnight a couple of incidents. One, there was an explosion off in the distance, and two, our chief security officer had been incapacitated, and no one had noticed. So, let's open things off with anyone wanting to play out their awakening scene the next morning. It's bright, it's early, you slept in a bed, possibly with a hollow disguise on. May not have been the best bed, because we're in a small town.
Yeah. So
May have just been aboard with a...
Rick did not have the best nights of sleep because it's the hollow skies, and I mean the bed is a bit hard. The mattress wasn't that thick, but with a tail and with a bed designed not for tail and not really designed for side sleeping on. He sort of groggily, sort of slowly gets up, stretches, sort of just tries to blink himself, his eyes open, and just opens the window, the curtains. I presume there's some curtains, and just like sort of peers outside to get a blast of light in his eyes and try to properly wake up.
So, in that blinding blast of light, you have no appreciation for what's going on inside right now. There's simply light bathing in. It's harsh, still waking up, still groggy.
So after that blast, he just sort of decides, no, I can't really see anything out here. This is just annoying my eyes. Probably should. He'll just sit down to get some food for breakfast. I don't know what we organised for that.
So breakfast would probably be arranged somewhere downstairs. So the bar area still has that large food dispensary, and you might be able to smell some kind of sizzling meat.
I'm sure there's bacon. And as I recall, we actually paid for breakfast, I think, last night.
We did.
All right, so
So
so Rick will head down. His book scanner is still in hand, and just ready to do a quick scan of the food, just in case that it's not biologically compatible with him.
all right, so Rick heads downstairs. The stairs creaking, but at the same time, it's an inn. It's the Old West. It more or less fits. As he gets down there, he just notices that the bar top is arrayed with a variety of different foods, more or less slapped on a variety of different trays. So there's some biscuits, hardtack, bacon, sausage, not a terrible amount, but still good enough for what they need that morning, as well as some questionable toast.
All right, so he'll try and do like a medical scan to see what he can eat. Since this is perhaps a new kind of, he's probably not used to any of this stuff. Maybe bacon. I think bacon is probably, something he knows he can eat.
Okay, so give an insight medical roll.
This will be an 8. Need to actually do it in the right chat room. And the right server would be good too. Alright, 1 success.
Alright, so 1 success. You're able to identify that you should not eat the toast or the hardtack. The biscuits, sausage, and bacon should be fine for your metabolism.
Alright, so he'll have a biscuit, a couple of sausages, and a bit of bacon.
Alright, Rick is able to collect that on a relatively well-worn plate, and he's able to also pick up any glasses of water that he wants to have with breakfast.
Yeah.
No fancy pants milk or juice here. So he's able to basically collect his food, and then he's just got the rest of the bar seating area to enjoy said meal. Setsujigoro is already at a table, basically with her face down on the table itself.
Kara comes by, pats her on the back, sets down a big plate of bacon.
Setsa proceeds to, without lifting her head, consume the bacon.
Eat Trick?
Rick joins in and asks, did you have a good night or a bad night? I can't really tell.
I slept on the floor.
Bad night.
Why did you sleep on the floor?
Because someone pushed me out of the bed and I didn't want to wake them.
Well, I guess if we're here for a second night, I'll sleep on the floor then. Make it even.
Well, alright. Again, didn't want to make it fuss, just trying to deal with the best I can. Had enough blanket, but...
Well, you're too nice. You should be a little more pushy, especially when it comes to getting pushed off the bed. That's the kind of thing you can wake people up for.
Yeah, I guess. So, did everyone else sleep?
Better than that, but not great.
I slept really well. I'm sorry.
Setsa sits up, kind of takes that long breath and just trying to clear her head and try to put on a brave face despite the fact that she got one of the worst sleeps she's ever had that night. So she eats a little bit more bacon and says,
Alright, well, I guess we can plan for tonight and try to figure out what we're going to be doing once Captain Dingbat and company arrive.
Well, there was that pretty big, noise overnight. I don't think that was just standard mining for the area, but then again, what do I know?
What noise? Rick, sort of looks curiously at you like he didn't hear anything the other night.
Man, you must have really been out of it. There was a big explosion-like noise at some point last night.
Well, I don't know. I mustn't have been paying attention or something.
So, where are Chorog and Eli at this time?
Eli's just coming downstairs. He's ready to have some breakfast. Some whiskey for breakfast.
All right. Is Eli tempted to eat any of the toast or hardtack?
Nah. Too many carbs.
Chorog.
Trog is waking up outside in an alley.
It is a very, well, you've been in better alleys. It's a very ramshackle alley. There's just 2 wooden buildings, a few bits of discarded wooden crate about. These humans have a lot to go when it comes to designing a proper alley.
Oh, they call this an alley? Ooh. Trog manages to stagger to his feet. That's the last time I drink that, whatever they call this, rot gut. Ugh. And manages to find his way into where everyone else is at.
So Chorog stumbles into the saloon area, looking a little bit worse for wear, but he's on his feet. Eli's grabbing breakfast, but the captain is not to be seen at this point.
Trog turns to Eli and says, have you seen the captain at all?
Nope. Hold on a second. Getting some bacon.
Trog is eyeing the hardtack on the table.
Who is with the captain in his room?
I don't remember. I was only there to sleep.
I was keeping an alley company last night. I have no idea.
I'm gonna go upstairs and look for him. So
Probably
saying,
a good
Kara
idea.
heads
Hey,
off to this.
Wait up, let me come with you just in case.
Eli just shoves some bacon in his mouth. I'm coming over too.
Hey, save some of that hardtack for me. That stuff looks pretty good.
Well, if
It's
you're
only
both going, why don't I just stay here and have more bacon?
I mean, if you're staying, I could stay. It's no big issue.
Okay, I see how this is working. I'm just gonna go upstairs and try to find the captain. If you want to come along, come along. If you don't.
All right, let's go.
Kara goes up the stairs and goes looking for the captain's room.
Trog takes the lead and finds a door where the captain should be, draws his revolver. Say, you better let me try go in first in case something's waiting for us.
What's going to be waiting for us? And even if it does, there's people here.
It doesn't matter.
Shouldn't we just knock first in case he's just asleep, rather than having you and the captain shoot each other?
Yeah, that seems like a better idea.
Yeah, what's one more scar? But yeah, that's fine. Trog knocks on the door pretty hard, nice and loud.
There's no response.
And now we can walk in with our guns drawn, because, that seems a little unusual.
Trog goes for the door handle. It seems like it's locked, so puts all his force in his shoulder and busts the door in.
Wait, no! Oh.
The door was unlocked, so Chorog simply, basically, and it's not even like a particularly capable door. So you could basically push this thing in when it's not locked. So Chorog forces his way through the door and then lands on the floor on his shoulder. Basically just bumps straight down.
Chorog, have you ever considered that maybe a little less force might be good once in a while?
Lies, and slander.
So the room itself appears absolutely normal. But I'm going to have you roll an inside engineering roll.
Okay.
All of us?
Well, I'm gonna guess one abnormal thing is that the captain isn't there, or you probably would have said that.
Yep. So roll inside engineering. Everyone who chooses to.
Insight is 9. Okay, so yeah, I have a 50-50 chance.
Inside engineering. Let's see.
1 success for Eli. 1 success for Chorog. 1 success for Kara. Something about the room seems a little off, but you can't put your finger on it. Like,
all right,
it's a
enough
little
of this.
Still a little too.
Kara shuts the door and pulls out a tricorder and uses that to scan the room.
Okay, roll insight science.
Hey, where's John?
Wait, all right, no. Lieutenant Tardigrade has not returned to the ship. He's with Grandpa Karn.
Oh shit, that's right. I'm sorry, the
We've
other
got
tardigrade was with us.
Skipper.
Skipper. Long day, lot
You
of war
guys
crimes.
don't. Yeah, so you guys don't know that Skipper is down on the planet with you because she appeared as a small dog, and no one announced the fact.
I mean, Torog knows.
Right.
Okay,
Well, anyway,
Chorog
I got
knows
3
that-
successes, so
So you're able to detect a. So what Kara is able to detect is a small holographic field that has been carefully arranged due to a series of 8 emitters placed at the corners of the room. You also detect one Captain Graves standing in the middle of said room.
Kara shorts out the field and says, "Okay, what was the point of that?"
Graves, holding a data pad and obviously using his communicator, says, just a second. So he reviews the data pad, taps the combat gun, says, all right, Ged. Get the engineering team on this, and hopefully he'll be back in running order soon.
Okay, Captain Invisible, what's going on?
Everything okay, Captain?
Well, I'm okay. Bryce isn't.
Where's Bryce?
He was attacked last night, and the team back on the ship noticed that and beamed him directly back.
Is he
I've
okay?
just been informed. Yeah, he was attacked by an isolytic weapon, something close range. So it shorted out his positronic buffers. So he'll be fine. No permanent damage by the looks of things right now, but it'll take a few hours to get him back online.
Wait, isolytic weapons?
Yep. Small little charge device of some kind. Can't be a long-range energy weapon, but still something that should not be here.
Oh, we need to find wherever this is.
Yep, indeed. Probably related to her dilithium signature, or something tangentially related at the very least.
So somebody's here using outlawed weapons. Last time I heard anything about isolytic weapons, it was the Sona.
Wait, where's
Checkers? They're not... We'll get to Checkers in a minute, because he's got his scene to wake up to. Graves says, we know the Sona do, but the problem is that the Sona don't do anything with temporal operations, or at least aren't known to. So we've got... or there's just more than one desperado out there, so...
It's also true that the Sona are known for selling a lot of their stuff off to anybody with enough credits, so...
Yeah. So we'll see. For right now, definitely be on your guard, and don't travel alone.
Well, it's a good thing Rick stayed with Setsa downstairs then.
Grave size. Yep. That's a very good thing. Oh boy. All right.
May I make a suggestion? We should set our tricorders to alert. What if we detect isolytic signatures? Yeah,
that'll be hard though until that type of device activates. Let's just keep our tricorders searching for any kind of anomalous power signature.
Well.
Yeah, good idea. So let's go ahead and set that up. Rick, if you could help people modify their tricorders. I'm gonna go check downstairs to make sure everyone's all right.
Rick is downstairs in the bar with Setsa. He's not up.
Okay, Graves is gonna go. Okay, so I forgot about that. So Graves is gonna go downstairs to chat with Rick about modifying the tricorders in such a way that they're probably not going to be detected, or hopefully not going to be detected. So Graves says, "Yep, I'll go check with Rick about modifying our tricorders and hopefully staying off our antagonist radar."
Kara just nods to all this, goes downstairs and gets Setsa an apple, since that's probably one of the few easy sources of sugar in this time period and location.
Chorog heads downstairs and helps himself to some of the hardtack and goes over to the bar looking for some whiskey.
All right, for Chorog going for the hardtack, you're going to have to roll fitness security.
Already?
I mean, let's be honest, this is a man who ate cigars.
Yep. So it doesn't have to get much. Oh man, that hardtack. I mean, at first it just seems like compressed sawdust. I mean, a lesser being, they might see it as something that's gag inducing, but you know fine carbohydrates when you see them. This hardtack is delicious. You don't know why everyone's just leaving this stuff around, but you get a really great vibe out of this this mysterious substance. It's fantastic, and you feel great and well energized after you've eaten this with 3 successes there.
It's real crunchy. Well, why are you guys not eating this? This is great.
Car just looks over. I guess it's a warrior's bread.
Oh, wonderful.
Eli says too many carbs, says he has another thing of bacon.
Set's nomming the apple set.
Well, I mean, I've been trying to be, more warrior-like. Jorah, can you throw me some of that bread?
Jorah underhanded tosses the bread. Here, try this. You'll love it. It's wonderful.
As soon as the bread's tossed over, Kara just sets it on the shoulder and says, "Vaya con Dios."
Setsa takes a small bite. And...
Hopefully without cracking teeth in the process.
I was about to say, she may not take the bite, depending. She may attempt to take the bite.
She takes a small... Basically, she bites and gets some material from it. Whether or not it's from the bite itself is a different matter. She tastes it and decides no, and spits it out. Just says,
"Well, Jorah, I think you'll have plenty of that tack stuff to yourself."
Work for me. As Jorah grabs a bunch of it and sticks it in his side pack.
Kara just sits down and looks at Setsa and goes, "There's a reason other people aren't touching that."
So, let's cut to a private room in the first floor of the saloon. Behind the bar, down a small corridor, and to a certain pair who spent the night together. I have no idea what context that means, but last time we saw these two, they were heading off for private business dealings. It's Checkers and Sal, one of the owners of the bar.
Well, times were different back then, and sometimes things would happen on the trail that...
I just have no idea what you guys were planning for that one, so just fill in that gap.
Oh, what in tarnation happened last night? Oh, yeah.
I won the drinking contest.
Sal just sits up from the floor, looks around at a myriad of various empty bottles, and remembers the negotiations from last night.
Now, it's about time you tell me the information I needed to know. Also, that pasta was delicious.
Thanks, it's, yeah. Anyway, what did you want to know again?
Shit, I don't remember what I wanted to know.
You gotta take that in character now.
That wasn't character. So, yeah.
Should I roll to remember what the heck they were asking about?
Go for it. If Checkers doesn't remember, he doesn't get a roll for it, but you putting in an effort, you can try to roll for it. Let's say your target number is 14.
I think this is my first time rolling. Do I do 2d20s?
Yeah, 2d20.
Like how you see it done there.
But instead of a 10 or an 8 or whatever, put 14 after it.
Oh, damn.
No successes. You've drawn a complete blank.
Something about rumors?
I think there's something about rumors.
I think.
Anyway, thank you for hearing. I'm sure it'll come back to me eventually, but anyway, what I do remember, Thank you for hearing me out about my business venture.
Of course, I will greatly consider investing in it.
Why don't you take a couple bottles of that there sarsaparilla? Just share it with some of your friends. Spread the word.
That I will indeed do, he says as he takes off his top hat and just puts the bottles in there, putting his top hat back on normally, and no ill effect. It doesn't it doesn't do anything. Just acts normal.
Sal just kind of does a double take, wondering if they actually saw what just happened, and just shakes their head, writing it off as some just weird hangover effect.
Is something wrong, my friend?
Well, for a moment I thought, it's silly.
No, I want to hear this.
At this moment, a small dog runs out from under the bed, yipping into the hallway.
Huh. Neat. I didn't know you had a dog.
Is that a dog?
No, is that? No, I don't have a dog. At least I don't think. Quite the contrary.
Wait, hold on, checkers?
Yes.
I'm gonna roll insight command.
Alright, let me find checkers sheet. Insight 10, command 5. 2d20, 15.
Fail. Dang it. Okay, yeah, you're positive you don't own the dog.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't own that dog.
Well, it must be a stray then, or else someone else brought in a dog without me noticing.
Adorable. But yes, what were you saying?
How much room you got in there?
In where?
That there fancy cap on your head.
Oh, I see. I must tell you the truth. I am a magician. Well, as a hobby.
A magician, eh?
Yes. Observe. I need a deck of cards.
As a bartender, probably have several decks just laying about, so just grab one from off a table and hand them over.
Alright, pick a card, any card.
Alright, to do the trick, Eli, you're going to need to roll a daring security, or actually control security.
Wouldn't that be more command?
No, I'm going to do security. It's more the sleight of hand.
What if he's counting cards?
You're the one holding the deck.
Yes, exactly.
So it's a card counting trick, or is it a moving cards around and being careful about which cards end up where trick?
Counting the cards to know where they are.
Okie dokie, so that is command control.
Alright, and focuses game of chance, so...
Actually, hold on. It's going to be science control, because you're using math.
Oh no! Oh no!
You're using math.
I would also rule this isn't a game of chance if you're busy counting everything.
That's true.
Nope. It's not a game of chance. Focus does not apply.
Oh no.
2 successes, though. You are an adept at this particular trick as you're about to describe it for us now.
Pick a card, any card.
Alright.
Don't tell me what it is. Just look at it, memorize it, commit it to memory, and then put it back in the deck.
Alright, let's see. There you go.
Alright, he takes the deck, shuffles it a few times, before taking a singular card out, keeping the face away not in view of Sal, as he throws the deck behind him, and handing the card out. Is this your card?
With 2 successes, it will be Sal's card.
The 7 of Diamonds. Is this your card?
Did we lose Sal?
Sal?
Fine. Sal.
Wow.
Okay, there it is.
Wait, can you... Oh, sorry, yeah, you were cutting out for a bit, so I just closed something. Well, I'll be. You ain't half bad.
Magic.
And Sal makes a mental note to double check those large bills he was handed the night before, just to make sure they weren't props.
No, they're real.
I'm sure they are, but Sal's just thinking, I'll check that after we're done talking.
Indeed. Well, breakfast time.
Oh yes. There should be something set out about now. Just y'all paid for your breakfast last night, so just get what you want off the tray. I will say, drinks are not part of breakfast.
Oh, of course.
Or hard drinks, I should say.
Hold on a second.
You'd be surprised how many people want a couple shots with their bacon in the morning.
I am no different to that.
So, with that, Checkers is free to join the others in the main area.
He's gonna have hardtack.
So, as Checkers rounds the corner, he sees that delicious pile of hardtack. A dent has been made by Chorog, but certainly not enough to remove it from play. Checkers, let's roll daring security.
Come on, Checkers.
2 successes. It's a little tough, but hey, it's an invigorating breakfast.
Toughness only makes it better.
You've also got the rest of the supply there as well.
Bacon and hardtack sandwich.
You make the bacon and hardtack sandwich. It's very difficult, but again, it gets you going in the morning. The others just kind of stare at you as you approach. Bacon and hardtack sandwich in hand, Chorog, of course, has a little bit of nod of appreciation for a fine connoisseur of the better of the human delicacies that he's seen so far.
Or just looks around and says, okay, I get Chorog liking it, but...
What?
This is the man who keeps bees on our ship, Tara.
Correction.
Hey, wait,
one of the two men who keeps bees on our ship.
Wait, two?
Where do you think the mead comes from that Grimnir serves?
I thought that was what Checkers was supplying the bees for. How many bees
What do you know about the
ship?
bees?
Arcus, what bees?
No bees. No bees.
All right. At this moment,
sir, the
though,
bees. They come before the seas.
Exactly.
At this moment, a man steps through the saloon doors. Hat on head, toothpick in mouth, look of determination. Got the
Cliches
sheriff's badge
at the
on.
ready.
Got the sheriff's badge on. Looks to the group and says, Side note, I forget what accent I did with this character last time.
Which one is it?
Well, the sheriff, you see, he's a man
sure.
who's likely to just shoot you. He's got kind of a slow way about him.
Okay, yeah, that's close enough to what I was doing. So, the sheriff, Archibald Smith, says, folks here, pretty quiet. And then some newcomers come along and something goes boom in the night. Question is, who done it?
Ain't this a mining town?
Mining's use little pickaxes. Don't have enough cash for dynamite around here.
Well, that just seems stupid.
Why does that sound familiar?
Okay. I just got a little lost by that. Okay. So
sorry,
Sheriff.
I'm trying to slowly let myself remember the last rumor, just from over time.
Okay, gotcha. Sheriff says, we had dynamite either. Wouldn't blow itself up on the ridge where a couple of boys doing a little no-harm thing. But, careful as they may be, something went boom. Something I think there's a little bit of sabotage for. He looks at the group.
Sheriff, I can tell you, I can vouch for these here strangers. They've been in this bar all night. I saw them all go upstairs. And I can personally vouch for this gentleman here in the hat.
Indeed, Checker states.
The sheriff gives a very long side eye at Checkers. Just something about the top hat, the mustache, the suit, the gold trim, really doesn't jive well with the folk, but he's not one to throw someone in jail just for pissing him off. That's what shooting's for. So he says, Tom, go upstairs, but any eyes on him throughout the whole night?
Wait, sorry. Can you say that again? I think I missed
any. So he said, any eyes on them the whole night.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I was just confused whether you were talking about Checkers or the people upstairs.
The people upstairs.
Sorry. Well, I didn't... Well, it's not like I would have gone upstairs and watched their doors 24/7. I've been down here.
God damn it, Kara. Okay, so for the break there, Kara has just posted a picture of Snively Witch Flash with the tagline, Checkers? So yeah, let's basically put it that way. That is what the sheriff sees in Checkers, but at the present isn't going to be doing something about him because he's got the best alibi. Says to the others, well, gotta find out what happened to my boys up on the hill. You folks really didn't go out at last night?
We didn't leave the establishment.
And I reckon if I had gone out last night, she pats Setsa, girl here would have slept a little better.
Setsa kind of catching on to the lawman aspect of the conversation, just nods and stays quiet at that. Graves says, "No, you're angling for something, Sheriff, but fortunately, don't think anybody's can oblige. Just academics passing through, just trying to get back home to Boston. And yeah, it's been a long trip, so just been hitting the hay extra hard." Sheriff nods at that and says,
And I was just thinking that if you were gonna say something, Sheriff, maybe the best thing to do is just say it.
Well, just having a conversation at present, I guess. So, be that as it may, folks be moving along. Don't cause any trouble here. Here otherwise, though, we'll be seeing ya. Oh, yes. With that, tips his head to the hat to the ladies, steps out of the bar.
Well, ain't he just a ray of fucking sunshine?
Well, he's a bit gruff, but I gotta say, he sure is effective. Don't got too much crime around here, other than the occasional thing here and there. I will say, you might want to watch your step around him for the next few days. He does like to get a little trigger happy with folks he don't like.
Well,
Grave sighs.
I'll shoot back.
Grave sighs and says, well, could be a coincidence. Could be something about why we're here. Yeah, hard to say. Alright, any other anomalies last night?
Well, if he is telling the truth and nobody around here uses dynamite, then we better go check out what the hell happened.
Well, I'm a little bit worried about that, because we start poking around, we're going to look very suspicious.
Yeah, I suppose that could be a problem. Kara just taps at where her hollow disguise is.
Alright, so you're tapping at your hollow disguise. Are you doing anything with said hollow disguise at present?
No, she's just trying to point it out to him while she's talking.
Alright. Graves does not catch on.
I'll do a roll, see if Rick catches on.
Alright, insight engineering.
I'll do a roll too.
Yeah, I'll have Eli do a roll.
That's 12 for Rick. Oh, that's 2 successes.
Insight. Hold on a second. I'm going to use my perk where I can do an engineering roll with my medical stuff. With my medical stats.
Huzzah!
Hell yeah. So that's Insight 9 plus 4. 13? Yeah, 13.
I'll also say for Chorog going through the hardtack, you've got 1 success from that. You've also got, or 1 momentum for that. And I'll say you bank up a couple of more momentum from Eli's 2 successes and Rick's 2 successes.
Not to mention the 3 successes Kara got when scanning the room, so that's probably at least 1.
Okay, yeah, so that would have definitely taken 2 successes to fully figure that one out. So, yeah, so you've got 4 momentum in total right now.
All
Alright, so what do they catch on to Kara specifically for 2 successes?
Easy, we got hollow disguises. We don't have to look like ourselves.
It would be
So,
yeah. So Rixim, if only there was a way that we could really disguise what we look like.
Yeah, if only there was something that people were using that could work.
Gee, what could that be?
I don't know.
Setsa says,
Oh!
There's some spare clothes and a few hats in the back.
At this point, I think most of the crew is just staring at Captain Dingbat, waiting.
Graves says, well, if you get a plan, I'll let you get to it. Let's see. I'm going to take a little bit of a...
Go ahead.
All right. I'll take a look at it. I'm going to go talk with some of the people for the train, just to make sure that we're good on the itinerary and we're able to head out when that does.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. We need a scientist and an engineer to go check it out, and since we're not going to be going
hold
alone...
on. At that point, Setsa elbows you and points out,
Sal!
Yeah?
Oh, nothing.
Right, well, point is, she points at Chorog and, Rick, herself, and Setsa. Between the 4 of us, 2 of us ought to go take a look, because ain't nobody ought to be going alone after what happened to our friend.
I'm good at getting into places I'm not supposed to be.
You also have knowledge of explosives, let's say.
So
you don't have to sound so happy about it.
So, Sal, what do you think? What does your character think of this conversation?
Also, you're still in Setsa.
Oh,
damn it. So, Sal, what do you think of this conversation?
Right now, he's just taking this all in. It just sounds like these bunch of strangers concerned with odd goings on in this town. I don't want to figure out what's going on, but all this talk of all this talk of money, mining. Someone mentioned the train. Can't help. Feels like he's forgetting something that this is all involved with.
Okay, so you're gonna make a command insight roll. So that would be for you. Let's just say 12 again. That looked right.
It was a capital D by accident.
There we go. So 2 successes. You remember your intel now.
The train. That's right. I remember now. That last rumor you wanted to hear about. I reckon you more than earned that this last tidbit. Remember when I mentioned that the rich mining man coming through town, Mr. Dewitt? Is coming in on the train. I hear there's I hear that there's something special coming with him on that train. I don't know if it's expensive or not, but you don't think that this rigmarole with the explosion last night has anything to do with it, do you?
Well, here's a good question for that. Where them train tracks run? They run up on that ridge?
A quick question, do the train tracks run up on the ridge?
No, they're going to run somewhat by the ridge, but not like anywhere close by. Not like they're like running just underneath.
I mean,
The
it's
bridge would be a good place to watch them.
It's in the general.
The bridge would...
What?
Okay, so the ridge would be a good place to watch the train, but not a place to, say, throw a bunch of rocks down on the train.
I mean,
Well,
they're sort of in the general, like, sort of in the same general direction. Not particularly close to each other, though.
well, I reckon that wasn't an explosion to try to cause a landslide and stop the train or anything. Of course, I guess the train's going to stop in town regardless.
I would like to definitely have a look at the crater, see what happened there.
Hey, maybe they'd done their job for us. Maybe some fossils got turned up.
So, you all are keenly aware of the fact, though, that in order to go observe, you're going to need to find some place discreet where you can change your appearance without causing or drawing any attention. You do, however, have the problem that Sal is kind of just hanging around you. So you do need to figure out a way of getting into some type of private environment outside and just change your outfits that way.
Kara slides Sal a bit more cash. Looks like we're going to be in town at least for another day. We'll go ahead and keep those rooms if you don't mind.
I'll just pass this on to Simon, and I'll get that set up in a jiffy.
Don't reckon I've met Simon. He the one that done all the cooking?
Yeah, I handle the drinks. Simon does the room and board.
Huh. Kara stretches, well, I reckon I'm going to go back up to the room and make sure we got everything out of there. She looks at Setsa. You sure you don't want to try for some more sleep? I promise not to join you.
No, I'm up.
Right. Rick, you want to help me search them rooms and make sure we didn't leave nothing behind before we leave?
Rick will look over and say, Alright, just start looking. And,
Alright, everybody, remember buddy system. She and Rick head upstairs and off to one of the rooms. And she closes the door behind him and says, Okay, question is, how are we going to distract that guy so we can get away? Wouldn't be too hard to just beam out of here, but we want him to not, come looking in these rooms if he thinks we're in here. Hey, wait a minute. What about that hollow matrix the captain had?
Do you want to, make it pretend that we're still here, or that, just make it look like we're gone?
Well, I reckon if we made it look like we were still here, we could beam out to wherever we wanted, change our disguises, and go check out that crater, no problem.
That would certainly do.
We just need a cover story for why we're deciding to sleep in. Not that that requires a whole lot of excusing.
Well, I mean, we already have sort of made statements that we'd like to go look at it. Look at the, go exploring, so to say.
I mean, that's also true, and we could just try to get out into the forest or something. In fact, that's probably safer, just in case he pokes one of those holograms.
The question is where to do it without the, sheriff.
He can't follow all of us. So here's what I'm thinking. At least 2 groups ought to be formed. Chorog and Setsa, me and you. Whichever one the sheriff isn't following can change their disguises, and then head out and take a look at the crater.
That one makes sense. Yeah, that should work.
Okay. And, I don't know what the captain and checkers are going to do, but so long as we stay at least in groups of 2, we ought to be safer. I think we got a plan now. Let's go down and
we just
talk
need
to the
to
rest of them.
We just need to make sure that we know where the sheriff is. Maybe that can be the captain's job.
There you go. And I think it's time to go hunt some fossils and do some scholarly expeditions, don't you?
Why, I think it is.
Right on.
And
she exits the room and heads back down with Rick.
So, as just before you leave the room, Rick has this smile, but it's sort of like this weird smile that, he's sort of not, like, it's sort of, the whole disguise sort of interprets slightly disturbingly.
Okay, don't do that. It doesn't look quite right. Nothing to do with the... Yeah.
So you see him shifting and moving his mouth like he's moving just all his muscles in the mouth, and tries another smile. This time it's much better, actually.
That one's better. That one is much better. Don't do the first one, please.
You hear a little chuckle coming from Rick, and a short nod as alright, let's not keep the rest waiting.
Okay. And they head back down the stairs and join the group.
So you're able to discreetly brief the group about your incoming plan. So everyone is appraised of the situation. Setsa buddies up with Chorog, and Eli is going to be buddying up with Checkers, while Kara and Rick will try to do their own buddy up system. Eli and Checkers are going to check on their own thing. Also kind of keep a general eye on the captain.
Okay, I was going to say, what about the captain? But there you just clarified.
Yeah. The captain is also being followed by a small dog right now as well. So that leaves the two main groups here to try to evade the eyes of the sheriff, which will require some rolls. Also, allow Sal to check out the scene as he so pleases as well. If he wants to try to follow along, that may also take some rolls.
That's the great thing. Sheriff can't follow both groups. He's only one man. But what's the roll to go try to lose him?
Okay, so you exit the saloon. Group of two. One group goes left, the other group goes right. Let's first do a quick roll, just an odd or an even, to see who's the sheriff going to follow. The sheriff, you kind of see Kara and Rick sees out of the corner of their eye, is keeping an eye on Chorog and Setsa. So you've got a little bit of an opening right now. So you only need one success on a security daring roll to try to sneak away.
Let's face it, you can't trust no man that eats hardtack like that.
Alright. Alright, daring is 7 for me, so that's 11.
So, 3 successes in total. You are certainly able to evade the sheriff, who is, again, focused on the other group. The other group, Chorog and Setsa, are able to try to evade as well, but they will need at least 2 successes to do so. It's a busy street, a bit winding, and the sheriff's trying to be discreet about this as well.
Did I overhear which group was going to go up to the ridge?
They're both going... You didn't overhear which one it is. So you've got a choice for who to follow. The 2 scientisty-looking ones, or the tough one with the lady.
Oh, do I got to roll for this?
It's going to be a daring security.
All right.
To be fair, I'd say both groups are a tough guy and a lady.
This sort of depends on your definition of tough.
Yeah, I just always imagined Rick was pretty fit.
I mean, he is, but he's not like Malay. He
doesn't have a personality to project.
Yeah, he's not the kind of ruffian kind of...
He doesn't have the swagger. So, Chorog and Setsa have no successes. The sheriff is sticking into them like glue. So, they're kind of little, they've tried to give them the runaround, but at the same time, they're kind of running out of ideas for natural things to do. Setsa is looking a little bit lost just in the alien environment and the unfamiliar time period. So that leaves Chorog. What do you try to do at this point?
Chorog grabs Setsa's arm. Quick, duck in here. As they take and duck into what appears to be some kind of stable / warehouse.
As this happens, Cecil comes away from the saloon and shouts out to the sheriff, "Hey, sheriff, I want to talk to you about this stray dog I saw wandering around my saloon."
The sheriff has a long, weary sigh because he just did a roll for him to see if he's going to keep his eyes on the prize, and he's got 0 successes and 2 complications. So the sheriff says, "All right, stray dogs in this parts makes a man sad. Gotta go find the little pupper now. So any information would be much appreciated, Sal." He's got a little bit of a tear in his eye as well as he walks towards the saloon with a heavy heart and determination of he's got to go find that little pupper. He's got to go find it.
Hints to the sheriff's tragic backstory.
Frog turns his head and says, in hushed tones, "Don't move, say nothing. Let me go check, make sure he's gone."
Sets and nods.
Frog walks over to the side of the building, finds a separation in the wall boards. Able to see out and sees the sheriff walking back towards the bar.
What Chorog also sees, he sees the sheriff walking towards the bar and away, and he sees another eye peer right over the same board.
I guess looking in?
Yeah, looking in.
Chorog motions his set so to stay put, and he makes a motion to his eyes and to the board, hoping she'll get the picture that someone's looking in. Stay put. I'm going to go check this out.
A voice from outside says, "The Lord doesn't appreciate those who hide in the shadows. That's where temptation lies, my friends."
Frog bumps shoulders, turns and says, "It's the goddamn gravedigger."
Not just a gravedigger, man of the cloth. So he was. Gonna come out there, gonna give in to sin. Sweet, delicious sin.
Frog motions for Setsa to follow him as he exits the building and finds the preacher. "The hell are you doing here?"
Just seeing a couple of folks ride into one of the stables together. Big strapping lad and a lady. Not my first rodeo there.
Get your mind out of the gutter, preacher man.
My mind is on plane of the Lord. It sees all. It knows all.
Right.
Knows that you had thoughts about her knickers. Thoughts about her knickers. Likely to put one in the grave one day. Don't know what their knickers can do to a man.
Right, I have wings and I can fly.
Thou art a demon?
Frog looks him square in the eye and says, "Do you want to see a demon? Test me and you will."
I only need to look in the mirror, my friend, and he holds that gaze hard. Checker, or Chorog, you've known badasses. You know badasses that really don't back down. This guy seems like kind of an idiot, but at the same time, you do see that resolve, that unflinching certainty that he could actually probably take you. Despite being the so-called man of the cloth, he's built. And the way you've seen him move indicates that he knows how to use that.
Frog looks long, deep into his eyes. "I see the soul of a man who's taken life. I respect that."
Good that you do.
"I've known a lot of tough guys in my time. I put plenty in the grave."
But have you thought about your own salvation, friend?
"I'm not worried. I know where I'm going and I'm okay with it."
Well, the Lord leads a man to a certain path. Who's one to question it? Just be careful about those lady parts. They can trap you.
You have no idea.
The man nods.
You go your way, preacher man, and let me go mine.
The man nods, heads out. Setsa has gone completely bright red and is almost catatonic. She is just like, what is happening? That leaves Chorog. What do you do?
He turned to Setsa and said, "That man may be a preacher. That's one tough son of a bitch."
That is good to know. So, should we try to find a way out of town?
No, we carry on with the mission.
Well, I thought that was the mission.
Well, we're going to the mine, isn't it?
Oh, the ridge. It's up that way.
Well, let's make it to the ridge. That preacher man's not going to follow us. He knows what I'm about. We need to find our way to that ridge, and we need to find a way in there.
Alright, so you guys proceed ahead. Let's cut to Marcus, who is standing by the train. He's just talked to one of the conductors and has some pretty good assurances that they're still not going to be leaving for another couple of hours. So, he just bides his time, just looking relaxed, enjoying the scene with a cup of, water, where he hopes it's pure water. Doesn't taste exactly like pure water, but it's probably the best he's going to come by at this point. Looks at the small dog sitting next to him and just shrugs. Looking out at the scene.
And from behind him, a hand is put on a shoulder.
Hello there.
As he turns, it's Abraham again. You tell by the Civil War hat.
Hello, Abraham.
Hello again. I really hate to do this. I really hate to do this. It weren't my idea. I'll say that right now, but,
Is it a good idea?
well, my partner was the one that made this little plan, and you are going to be helping us.
Alright. Exactly how? And why?
Well, I'm gonna start off with the why. Well, you see, I heard some boys had an accident last night, but we know that it wasn't an accident, and, well, I think my partner saw you walking somewhere suspicious.
Brave sighs and says, yeah, I see where this is going. Sheriff's had to talk with this morning, obviously looking for a scapegoat, so I'm sure your partner would be able to supply him with that. If I don't help. Well, what's done's done. So, what exactly do you need help with?
There's going to be a train coming by here. Obviously, there's going to be a train, but this train, it's carrying something valuable.
You mean the train behind us?
No, different train.
Wait, different train?
Yeah.
Alright, so does this happen to do with DeWitt?
It might. Now, first question I have is how you came across that information?
Well, some folks in town knew about it. We're interested in it as well, considering that there's something special on board, and could be that, let's just say, academic value.
Ah, so you're looking to find it too, then?
Well, I can find out what it is first, and then if I want it. So let's just put it that way. Or let's put it this way between us, if I want to share in it.
Well, I hear it's going to a professor somewhere in Colorado.
Alright, well, that's pretty close by then, so probably best get on it. So it's not going to be on this train, so it's going to be on another train.
We're going to have to ride west. Meet it head on.
Alright, that sounds interesting. So let me guess, it's just going to be you, me, and your friend?
Maybe some of your other friends might have been seen with you last night. I'm not sure. Any of them that can carry a gun.
Hell, it kind of rolls half of them out there. And a couple of ladies and an academic coming with us. Just got one little bodyguard, but they're off having their own little party right now. I am pretty good with a gun.
I know, you said you were a bounty hunter.
Yeah? So, let's put it this way. Don't necessarily need too many more with us, especially if I'm having to consider cutting them in.
That's fair. Plus, the academics, truth be told, I think
I'd probably panic.
yeah. You know how those egghead types
Alright. Alright, so, if you want to get going, let's get going.
are. Right. Gather up your posse. I'll meet you to the west town.
Graves looks down at the small dog.
And again, I am really sorry about this. I'm not one for blackmail.
So, let's see. Okay, so Graves is making a roll right now. It shall be Insight Command roll. 2 successes! He recognizes the dog. He recognizes why the dog is standing next to him. He says, mind if I bring my dog along? It's like a arm.
Your dog can come.
Alright, awesome. And Graves just, tips his hat and says, I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, but again, I feel horrible about this. I'd rather you had come of your own volition, but Gustav insisted.
Well, would have come if you didn't actually, try to have me do what you're kind of strong-arming me with. So, could have just given me the sweet deal right at the front, not try to, play tough.
Again, his idea.
Well, we can talk about that later. For now, let's just go off into the wilderness and get a little bit of a discreet exit here.
Meet you there. He says and walks off.
Alright, so they head off, and we've been doing this for a little bit of while now, so I'm going to let us do our bit of a break. Alright, so we resume the action. The team is converging on the smoking crater that used to be the still. They have also changed the disguises in the meantime, looking a bit now like railroad workers. Anyone wants to describe, I'm just going to say they look like different people, but if anyone has a particular idea for the people they look like, that I'll leave to them, but they are approaching the wreckage.
Half tempted to say, one of the cars going looking like the sheriff.
You think better of that plan.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't go well, but boy, she thought of it. Well, she gets there and surveys the destruction.
Engineering insight.
Yeah, Rick will do that too.
I mean, he better.
Alright, got no successes. It looks like a bit of scrap metal and some blasted bushes. See a few scraps of cloth, but that's it. Rick, you notice that it looks like some kind of distillery has exploded, probably makeshift, and from your research, you probably figure it's a bootleg whiskey distillery. Probably why the sheriff also is a little bit more laissez-faire about this activity because, hey, that stuff's hard to come by, especially at this time. However, given the blast pattern, it looks a little too energetic. Like something may have helped it along. Not just like a single explosion, but there's a little bit of singeing here and there that leads you to think it doesn't quite look right. Chorog and Setsa also arrive on the scene as well.
Question.
Yeah.
Since Rick has his tricorder out, do the group get to recognize each other?
Yeah, so he's got his tricorder out.
You can identify that it's the same book that Rick has previously used as the scan transfer. As the scanner.
Alright, and then for Chorog, he's looking like, again, a pretty, gruff-looking railroad worker, while Setsa has also tried to look like a gruff railroad worker, but in the same overall body configuration. So it's kind of obvious it's them.
Kara just shrugs and points at Rick.
Chorog walks over, starts examining what remains of a still.
Insight security roll.
Alright. Back here.
Ooh, 3 successes. I'm just going to say you guys are at maximum momentum. Chorog, you notice the distinctive burn pattern of a phaser explosion. Not a very big one, but it's left some distinctive markings in the sand.
This thing didn't go up on its own. This had help.
Yeah.
Look in the sand. What does that look like to you?
Explosion, some kind of weapon.
That's a phaser. That's a phaser pattern. Whoever was doing something here, they used a phaser to try to destroy the evidence.
Or a fight got out of control or something, but either way, we know it was somebody who shouldn't have been in this time period.
Trog picks up a piece of the copper tubing that was laying there and smelled it.
It smells a little bit like whiskey.
This may smell like whiskey. This isn't whiskey.
Yeah, it was definitely whiskey. A still. Whether or not it was destroyed to chase the distillery, the moonshiners out, or whether it was still created or moved to cover some other kind of machine that was meant to be destroyed.
This is high-grade stuff.
Setsa speaks up and says,
So, who do we know who indulges in time travel that uses phaser technology?
Terran Empire comes to mind, but...
Well, we do have potential, not Hazra. I don't know if he uses phaser technology.
No. If he's heavy, he's going to be using, that old, probably some kind of just plasma weapon. It's not Hazra. I mean, he doesn't blow things up on purpose like this.
So, the clues we've got so far, isolytics and phasers. I'm not pulling any...
So, at that point, a message comes into the group from Graves. It's a discreet communication, but basically says, on the way to the train, one coming into the area has the asset, still destroyed in order to try to coerce me by the partner of one of the desperados in town.
Kara sends a message back. It was destroyed with a phaser, sir.
There's no response from Graves.
She sent the message anyway,
So with that information, you guys can probably locate where that train is, because it's going to be a large vehicle encroaching on the area. It'll be passing by the town, but on a slightly different line. So they're going to need to try to get on board said train in order to pursue the clear directive: the asset is on the train.
The hell are we doing robbing a train? This isn't what I signed up for. All right, Captain's got himself in some trouble. I reckon we better go join him.
But I guess we want to do this ourselves, because this is not a Federation. This is not the DTI, because...
Yeah. Anyway, let's go find the captain. She heads off in that direction.
Setsa will immediately follow Kara. That leaves Chorog and Rick. What are you doing?
I want to look at from our vantage point, I want to look at the line. This is a line that the train is going to go down, right?
Yeah, so you're just past where the train is basically... There's one line going directly through the town, but for trains passing through, just so they don't have to have a high-speed locomotive going by businesses and stuff, there's a small arc of rail leading around the town, but still going by their present location.
All right, so I want to do some kind of analysis, momentum, see what speed I think the train will go past, how much time, what we can do to either stop the train or what can be done in that way. Sort of start planning an intervention on the train.
Well, I can...
All right. So from your vantage point, you're able to do something, but keep in mind, it's a very large moving piece of metal. So you can try to do an intervention, but kind of keep in mind, don't intervene too hard, because that would what we would call a railway disaster.
Yeah, well, yeah, like the idea would be just to try and slow it down enough so that we could get people on it.
Rick is also familiar with the concept of using the transporter.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess. So
the cheaty way is totally available at this point.
Okay, yeah.
One of Trog's focuses is to do crime, so that should make him a natural for getting on that train and sabotaging it somehow.
So, kind of keep in mind, your objective here is that there's a high. You were instructed by. Why am I blanking on his name? Philip Cray, to secure a anomalous piece of dilithium that had appeared in 1899. So you don't necessarily need to slow the train down or stop it anyway. Your objective is to get that dilithium. And you can't just beam it away, because that mysterious disappearance is going to leave a mark on history, because it's just going to be a weird, unexplained event. A train robbery, though, that's kind of a normal, everyday thing. Not in the sense of, like, happens literally every day, but it's not going to necessarily show up as a weird event on any history books. It's giving you a little bit of that rebriefing there. So that's your directive. That is your ultimate goal, is to get the high-value asset off of that train.
So
by conventional means.
Yes. So can we just use the train robbery as a cover and just beam it off?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is. Well, what you can do is you need to get into a position where there is an actual train robbery in progress, and it makes sense that you are there. So it's not like you can just show up on the train and just beam it off right away. You are going to actually have to carry out a train robbery. You can use the train, potentially get off the train as well, but the whole kit and caboodle, that does need to take place, at least while there are people around.
All right, so horses? I don't know.
Well, you can use the transport to get on the train, you just can't use it to just beam the dilithium off the train.
And we have to make it obvious that there's a robbery, so I imagine we have to cause a commotion too. Stealth won't work.
So, as you're noticing this, there are, let's see, is anyone actually taking a look at the train on this tricorder as it's coming in?
Yeah, Rick would try and do that as part of his initial planning.
All right, you detect that there are 3 horses approaching the train right now.
So, can I identify if one of them is the captain?
You can. So you're able to detect a slight holographic signature, but you do detect the captain as one of the people on the horses.
All right, so I will send a message to everyone saying, it seemed everyone else but the camera, that the mission is underway. We should beam directly on we should get ready to start the assault.
Kara makes sure that her hollow disguise still shows her as a random train worker or something and checks her shotgun. All right, but I'm keeping this disguise. I ain't going down in history for this.
Sets and nods. So one thing you can do is to try to actually get a layout of the train before you get started here.
No, beam me into a boiler. Bad. So, okay. I guess... I was going to say Rick should probably do that.
Yeah, so I'm going to tap my comm badge and contact the Reliant, requesting a scan of this train coming in to town, and prepare to identify dilithium and signature and lock onto it.
All right, so Larissa obliges, and I'm going to throw in an additional this. With 2 successes, Larissa is able to identify the rough location of where the dilithium is going to be. Still a little bit of fuzz to it, but she's able to identify that it's in the second car back from the locomotive. It has quite a few human biosignatures, and so does the car to the just before and just after it. Where there is nothing going on right now is over at the caboose, so that appears to just be miscellaneous storage. They're able to beam in there directly.
All right, so I
Okay,
will.
so
So Rick will first inform the captain that's where the dilithium signature is. Try and do that surreptitiously to not get the attention of the people that he's riding with, and then inform the others of the full situation.
so let's go then. I figure we get back there, maybe we just cause a big old ruckus, everybody comes running, and then maybe the captain can go just grab the thing.
Dog's good at causing a distraction.
Yeah, well, the only problem is I don't reckon we brought any stun weapons, nor can we use them, so... Well, I guess the body count is just something that happens in this day and age.
I say let's just go be bad guys.
Easy for you to say.
So, you guys ready?
Yep.
Ready.
There is
All
a slight
right.
growl from Rick as we're all ready, but yeah. Just at the situation, not at anyone.
Alright, so Reliance is able to beam you onto that last car. It's able to not beam you into anything, as in no one has to worry about their legs turning into a crate of water or something like that. But yeah, a couple of you just kind of land with a little bit of an oomph as the transporter technician tried to basically work around the equipment in there as best he could. The train car is swaying a little bit, just with the motion of the rail line. Just a second. And they are on the back of said train. So, you're on the train.
Car stands
There's
up. Everybody
3
ready?
cars. So there's 3 cars in between you and the prize itself. As you exit the door, you do notice that there is a set of rungs on a ladder leading up to the top of the train.
So who's going to do the recovery?
Well, we can should just be able to use a comm badge as a tag.
Yeah, but I'm looking for a volunteer here, somebody to go up top while the rest of us cause a distraction.
Well, I think might actually be good for that, unless you think you'd be better for it.
No, I'm good. You start climbing that ladder. Everybody else, get ready to raise hell.
Trog pulls his bandana up over his nose, unholsters his pistol, and says, "Let's do this thing."
All right. So,
I was about to say, assuming Rick's going to go climb the ladder.
Yeah.
Once he's up top,
right.
Kara's just going to pull out her shotgun and fire into the air.
All right. So you just fire your shotgun. So just into the air while you're in between the 2 cars, correct?
Yeah, just make a big old noise that's an obvious, gun.
All right. After you do that, the door opens, and someone points a weapon in your face.
Cool.
It does not look period appropriate.
Well, I was going to be nice, but now maybe I'll just shoot him.
So, you've got to react fast. So there's a man pointing a gun directly at Kara. Rick is climbing the ladder up to the top of the train. Chorog is presumably just behind Kara.
Well, my shotgun's got another barrel in it. What would it take to shoot him before he does anything?
You fired directly up into the air. So to do something with a shotgun, you've got to bring it down in close range. He is definitely going to be able to pull the trigger before you do that.
Trog aims his pistol between the guy's eyes, said, "Go ahead, make my day."
Let's see. The guy fires. So, combat! All right. And he's going to do a given roll. 2 successes.
So, what here? Do I get a defensive daring security?
Yes. So you get a daring security roll, and this is basically to work out pulling the shotgun or dodging. So daring security, see what you get. And then Chorog is also going to have to do daring security to see if he can get a shot in.
All right.
2 successes.
Alrighty.
I got 1.
1 success for Chorog. So, Kara dodges.
Basically, she
shot-
brings her shotgun down, but she can't get it in time to hit him, but she knocks his gun out the way.
Yeah, so the shot fires, and it is definitely a phaser. Not quite a standard Federation phaser, though. Chorog takes a shot. But with 1 successes to his 2, I'm going to say that the shot ricochets off of a personal shield.
There's a shield, dirty pool.
So you now are basically, say you're both within hand-to-hand combat range of them. Or Kara can try to use the shotgun, but the small pellets might overwhelm the shield, but they also might not.
Hell, I got the thing loaded with dimes. If that don't do it, I don't think a pistol will.
Oh, let me get my bare hands on him.
Alright, so here is the bad guy. So you're just going to try for the brute force approach.
I'm going to get out the way if Chorog wants him.
Alright, so Chorog, fitness security. Just barrel your way through there. 2 versus 2 successes. You are grappling with a guy. He is strong. He's also very well trained. But he's not able to overwhelm Chorog himself. Rick, meanwhile, is able to make good progress off the top of the train. So he's able to bypass this cart by now.
Question. Is Chorog or this guy taller? Specifically
Chorog
in the
is
NC.
Chorog is taller.
Kara's going to duck down and aim for the guy's nuts and punch up.
All right, go ahead and do that. 2 successes, and he's already busy with Chorog to be able to try to face Kara. You get a good shot in there. Nice, hard, direct hit right in the nuts. He doesn't quite go down, but he is affected enough that Chorog is able to basically slam him against the wall. He is out of it. So there's that. The room itself that you're in, it's another train car. It looks like it was passenger train car, but he was the only person inside of it.
Well,
And based on the pieces, that phaser looks very aggressive. Not Federation, but close to it.
Terran. At least that's what I'm betting. I don't know why the hell they'd be here, but let's not worry about it. She reloads the empty barrel of her shotgun.
Let me see that phaser.
You've got a phaser.
Chorog starts looking it over and sees there's something covering
Hold on.
it. What I got to roll?
If there's going to be detail, you're going to have to roll.
All right.
So, inside engineering.
Yeah.
No successes. It looks like a phaser to you.
It's nothing remarkable. It's a phaser, but it's been, I don't know. There's something about this that's just not right.
Kara gestures to the downed guy. You mind throwing him off the train just so he don't wake up?
Be my guest.
Well, you're stronger than me.
All right. Chorog grabs him by the neck, picks him up.
Well, I'm just going to also point out, you can also just beam him to the ship and put him in the brig.
Nah, where's the fun in that?
You are Starfleet officers.
Kara didn't think of that.
Pirate.
He's an exchange officer. He's fine.
All right.
Kara's busy thinking about this like she would be a friggin' bandit. Especially since she knows that this guy is not, of the time period. She doesn't feel bad about anything that might happen to him.
Chorog grabs the guy by the neck, pulls up, waits to throw him off, waits till he sees a tree passing by, then chucks him into the tree.
Now that was
Tree
just
is
mean.
spruce, and he lands gently.
Oh, I want him to bounce off the bark.
Whatever.
Nope.
Next car. Kara heads up to the next car, and this time she eases out the way of the doorway and knocks on it.
Man in a waistcoat approaches the door and says, "Oi, you late for your shift or something?"
Kara is kind of waiting to see what Chorog does.
All yours. I had the last one.
Kara steps around to the door, taps on the glass with their shotgun, and says, "Yeah, I'm a little bit late. You mind opening the door, or do I need to open it myself?"
The man goes completely pale.
I'd open that door if I were you.
He kind of looks back to the rest of the car, but isn't able to make a noise. The other passengers there don't notice.
Kara just looks at him for a second here. "I guess I'll get it myself." She opens the door.
So it moves without very much resistance. The man is an old man, kind of a butlery disposition. Just kind of not quite cowers out of the way, but does very astutely get out of the way, but is also very terrified and kind of debating with himself whether or not he should act.
So is this a passenger car of some sort?
Yep, you walk into a passenger car. It is filled with a few people, kind of more business types, a little bit of money here and there, a few people who are kind of serving as attendants, a few drinks, seen around too. Looks very casual.
Well, this isn't what I was expecting.
Frog looks down at the elderly butler and says, "You forget 1,000 things a day. Make sure this is one of them."
The man nods.
Kara replaces her shotgun a bit and just hurries up the aisle to the next car, presuming nobody stops her.
Frog
So Rick is also going to be on the top of the train. He's going to be following along at this point.
Yes, so Rick is purposely trying to be as stealthy on top as possible.
All right, so you approach the next car. So you've had 3 to go through. This is going to be the one before your objective. The door itself, there is someone just standing right inside the door, but he isn't looking directly at the glass. So is anyone going to do something? Versus...
Okay, Rick will want to try and approach from the other side.
All right, so Rick is able to get across the top of the train and able to enter, well, basically he slips in from the opposite end of that train car.
He'll just wait for Kara and the others to start commotion before doing the next, before trying to do anything with the dilithium source.
To be fair, with the first few gunshots, I'm kind of surprised the rest of the guards on the train didn't just come back.
It's a noisy train.
Hell, if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have gone for this plan. But anyway, Kara's going to make her way through the passenger car up to the next one, presuming nobody stops her.
Well, there's one guy at the start that I said was looking away. So you've got to open the door first.
Kara motions to Chorog to keep an eye on the guy, and she opens the door.
The man turns, offers a bit of a scowl. Just kind of gives you a look. Doesn't say anything, though.
"Excuse me, sugar, is the bathroom in the next car?"
Bathroom's off the side of the train if you need one.
Kara pulls out the shotgun and puts it up under his chin. "I think you're gonna need one."
The man puts his hands in the air.
Chorog, search him. See if he's got another one of those. Yeah.
With pleasure. Do I need a roll for this?
No, the man isn't resisting. You're able to find a pocket watch and a conventional revolver of the time period.
Huh. Okay.
Should
Key
I-
gestures. I'd go back and sit down if I were you. You don't want to get involved in what's coming.
The man nods, just kind of works his way around them and goes into the preceding train car.
Kara
There
shuts
are
the
a few
door.
more people.
Kara shuts the door and tries to jam it shut.
What do you use to try to jam it with?
I don't know. What's nearby?
Well,
Give me
you're
a
in
second.
between 2 moving trains.
Oh yeah, Chorog, you gotta... Yeah, that other weapon. Melt the door lock, if you would.
I was just going to take and rip off this ladder here and use that to tie the door shut, but alright.
I will probably say that Chorog's idea would be considerably less anomalous.
We'll go with Chorog's idea. But I ain't not
Remember,
the sort of person who could rip a
time
ladder
travel.
off.
I'll need a roll for this, obviously. So what am I rolling here?
Fitness security, I think.
Or it would be fitness presence.
No, presence is basically, those are two skills. You need a skill and one of your talents. So it's definitely going to be a fitness security roll.
Okay. I need to make some talents. I don't think I have his focuses on my thing.
Well, yeah. So sorry, it's focused. Basically, it is a security fitness roll.
Okay.
You meant to say attributes and disciplines.
Yeah, there we go.
Security. Said fitness and security.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
You're able to easily pull off one of the rungs from the ladder and then use that to jam the door shut. Just basically forcing it between a handle and another bar, using sort of the flange of the ladder to keep the door from being opened from the other side.
Oh, I twist it like a pretzel too to make sure it stays shut.
In any event,
You can't bend it quite that much, but you can basically bend it like a little bit of a curve just to make it a little bit more. It sticks a little bit better. But anyway, you guys are now able to proceed into the next train car.
Kara decides to duck down and motions for Chorog to open the door so that they can both cover it.
Chorog draws his revolver with one hand, pops the door open with the other.
What sights greet us, O Lord Storyteller?
What sights indeed. What sights include some potted ferns, some nice mahogany furniture. This is a very well-appointed train car. In the back there is a small corridor leading to some sleeping compartments and the next train. Before you is a small smoking lounge. Man, sitting in the chair, says, "Oh, I say, this is a bit droll, is it?"
Well, good afternoon, Mr. DeWitt.
Good afternoon, good afternoon.
Chorog walks up to him, puts his revolver between the guys, and says, "I don't know, is it?"
I should say it is. Although I think I know what you're here for. But I'll just say that the best locksmith in San Francisco says it's not going to be that easy.
I'll tell you this much, you got some mighty odd friends, Mr. DeWitt. You might want to choose your company better in the future.
That I shall, provided payday is a little bit more forthright, but we shall see what young Mr. Tesla is able to provide in that respect.
Kara just kind of goes along, and once she's roughly out of sight of DeWitt, who's presumably being still covered by Chorog, she takes her book and tries to figure out if this is the car with the thing in it.
Nope, next one.
All right, Kara comes
Rick
back and
is
searches
presently-
DeWitt for a weapon real quick.
He does not have a weapon on him. You find a smoking pipe, and another pocket watch, and a small case of snuff.
Kara shrugs and just takes the snuff box since it looks expensive and tosses everything else aside.
Chorog spies a rather fancy box of cigars sitting on the table.
That you do.
I'm taking those. Those are a midnight snack for later.
I was curious about strange customs you country folk got up to. Considered myself properly amused. Well, have at it. Have at your little ways, and be sure to, well, not damage yourselves too much in the attempt. Ha 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 ha.
Keep talking like that and I'll damage you.
Enough, we've got other issues.
Let's go.
They head toward the next train car.
Should I leave this guy
I will
conscious
leave.
or take him and knock him out?
Before you do anything, Eli, what happens next?
You're suddenly jolted as the train starts to apply brakes. And now let's go back a couple minutes earlier. Yeah. Further up the tracks from where the train currently will be in a couple minutes are Abraham, Gustav, Graves, Eli, and Checkers.
And a dog.
And the dog.
And the dog. Abraham is currently planting dynamite on the track.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, when I heard you were doing the transporter thing, I'm like, this isn't gonna go wrong at all.
Nope, Duncan's not trying to mess with things at all.
Anyway, as Abraham is setting up the dynamite, he's talking. So, here's the thing, we're probably gonna expect some gunmen. Probably Pinkertons, I don't know, I don't care.
We have the righteousness of the Lord behind us.
And also, according to Gustav, somebody, well, not somebody, you probably have heard the name before, Edison, he wants this thing. So...
Edison and Tesla, this just keeps getting better and better.
So...
Graves nods and says, alright, you think this is the best way? If you're right to it.
Yep, well, there's enough visibility, I think they'll be able to see it from here, and hopefully stop the train in time. If not, well, we gotta ride faster out of here.
Alright. Get to it quickly, then.
Get into it. Eli leans into Graves and whispers, "It's kind of fucked up. Also, something about him seems off."
Yeah, kind of getting that as well. He kind of debates whether or not to say anything to Eli. Just kind of has that little bit of an awkward, like, yeah, something's a little bit off here. I don't want to ask him, but yeah, all right, let's see how this goes. It just has that mental note.
He's got like scars in the same place. Don't worry, that's not important.
Graves goes completely blank. Yes. That is a coincidence.
Probably. History, time.
The dog barks. Well,
Abraham starts to lead a fuse away, away from the tracks to a detonator nearby. Alright, let's blow this. Who wants to do the honors?
The dog kind of jumps onto the plunger.
Ah, meat, he says as the dynamite explodes, tearing the tracks asunder.
Tearing the tracks asunder. So, the train is doing its best to come to a stop. It is jerked violently. Cars thrown against the wall. Chorog is thrown forward. So is Rick, although he's been working at the lock at the door for the next train car, so he simply loses his coordination for a moment before hopefully things settle down and can continue working, or you might want to find cover, depending on how things go. Leave that up to Rick.
Abraham yells, "Alright, you boys better be good shots, because, well, I'm not coming to get you if you end up having to hang. Well, I might, but let's see how this goes."
Graves says, "Oh, all right." So, the train, screeching. Long distance to cover, but it is a big train. The dice will decide.
Oh, no.
I'll be merciful. Okay. The train is coming closer, and closer, and closer. And at the point where you're thinking, oh crap, it finally screeches to a halt, and then something goes bang within one of the brake cylinders. The train comes to a halt before calamity happens by an uncomfortable margin of a few yards.
Well, there's my good deed done for the day, Abraham says as he gets a repeater off his horse. Let's go, move!
So, wait, I gotta do private consultation with Nick real quick.
Alright.
Okay.
Do 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 do. Do. Just give me a thumbs up or down.
Typing something out. Hold on a second.
Okie dokie.
We'll
So,
edit all this
let's
out
look-
in post. They say clearly not going to edit it out in post.
Well, maybe. Depends.
Okay, so let's go with so while the train's coming to a halt, people have been jostled around. What do? You're starting to come to a stop. Able to get your feet a little bit.
Kara's busy cursing. She looks back to see if DeWitt took a tumble.
Nope, he is in a smoking chair. He was his back was facing kind of towards path of travel, so he just got a little bit more snuggly. He's still
bastard.
unfazed by this.
Are you phased by anything? Are you on... What drugs are you on?
Opium.
Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Helps calm the nerves while traveling. He just looks off a far distance.
Man, being rich is something else.
So, Rick,
Yee.
you are working at the lock.
Yeah, so Rick just sort of has a bit of a leans heavily on the door as the train just shudders to a halt, and he's sort of just tries to just start picking the lock.
All right, so this is going to be a control engineering roll.
Okay,
It's a good lock.
My best roll. I'm gonna. What's the difficulty here?
You have a difficulty of 2.
I'm gonna grab extra dice just for extra safety.
Yep. So you're at maximum momentum.
And that is
Now
a
you're-
17 target.
Nice, and no complications. Despite some tricky bits to the lock, you are able to open it.
So there's just a silent little tick as the barrel just and the pins all slide into place. So Rick will just sort of wait for the others to come in before. Like he'll look back at the through the tram where the others are and get a sense of what they're doing.
So Kara and Chorog, your directive is to get to the next car. What are you doing?
Moving to the next car. DeWitt's high
There
off
we
his ass.
go.
He's clearly not stopping us.
So you beat up with Rick, and at this time, the others ride towards the train. So it's the group of Eli, Checkers, Graves, the dog. Not Graves the dog, but Graves and the dog.
Abraham and
And
Gustav.
Abraham and Gustav. However, as they come towards the train, a figure appears on top of it, as if out of nowhere, and takes a shot.
Rick, get in there and try to grab the what's-it. This is getting bad.
Well,
Car grabs the ladder and starts climbing up.
So, with two successes, I'm going to have Checkers roll con control to try to use evasive actions on top of a horse.
Those are my 2 worst. Oh no.
Checkers can do it. He is one with the animal.
If nothing else, steer the horse into the bullet, not yourself.
Oh, this is no bullet.
Oh, fuck.
1 success and a complication. He is able to kind of steer the horse aside, but the shot lands quite nearby. There's a loud explosion, the horse rears, and Checkers falls off the horse with a tumble.
Damn you, he says, just taking out the Mauser and just unloading it in the direction.
Okay. Let's see. I'll give you a roll for that. Let's go with, daring, usual daring security.
Daring security, so 15.
All right, with 2 successes, you are able to graze and drive back the aggressor on top of the train. However, 2 more also beam in around them as they're riding inside, or riding towards the train. Both of them fire. Let's see. One of the shots flies just past Gustav, while Graves is gonna have to do stuff. Hold on. Need to check a certain sheet. Ooh. The Terran attempts to shoot Graves and misses. Graves, by contrast, uses his pistol to shoot the officer in his shield belt, overloading it. The man is shot and falls over stunned.
Called it.
You were right.
Well, that was out of character, but I think it would be funny if Kara just said that suddenly by spying like an insignia on a uniform.
So, the rest are able to move past as the one who missed Gustav isn't able to take a second shot. Eli, Abraham, Graves, and Gustav arrive at the train in the opposite end of the car that Kara and the others are at. They just basically blow open the lock and are quickly proceeding inside. So the others, what do you do?
Well, Kara's climbing up the ladder to try to push those guys off the train.
Rick will head in.
Chorog. All right, so Rick heads in. Chorog?
Chorog, I'm right on Kara's heels.
All right, so you're both going up to the top of the train. There was one Terran officer up there, a little bit injured, but holding his weapon.
He's mine.
What the hell did I climb up for?
Well, if you want to take a beat the snot out of him, go ahead. Who am I to stop you?
Kara just moves out of the way and lets Chorog move.
Terran, I've never tasted Terran before.
All right, so are you just going to charge him?
I'm just going to charge him.
Fitness security to close the distance.
Fitness security.
Lowercase d.
Whoops.
Oh! You have rolled 2 successes. The Terran has rolled 3. Chorog charges. The man levels his agony phaser at Chorog, sets it to full tingle, and fires. Chorog is hit by the agony phaser. He has the feeling of wistfulness.
Pleasure.
No agony. He
Go
falls.
So,
He falls on his face, kind of rolls a little singed, and just says, ow.
Kara immediately, while Chorog is falling forward, pulls up her shotgun and fires at the guy.
All right, you roll. Daring security. 2 successes. As the man is shooting Chorog, he does not see you fire. Your shotgun blast is a good one, and he is not wearing a shield. He falls over.
He is probably very dead at this distance and with what I had it loaded with.
Probably.
Cha-ching.
Chorog, though, is still deep fried.
Terran officer gained $30 worth of dimes. Kara goes over and starts checking on Chorog.
Damn it.
All right, Chorog, you feel the effects of the agony phaser wearing off. You can move again. It still hurts.
That son of a bitch.
Also, Rick is now informing us that ranged weapons should be control, which actually would have meant that I got 3 successes. Either way.
He is the deaded.
Yeah, so I mean, ranged and melee weapons are meant to be handled differently. Melee is an opposed check, daring check, where range is just if you make the opposed. 2, you hit.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, in any event, Kara basically gets Chorog on his feet.
All right. So, Chorog on his feet. Rick, you have entered the car. It is very dark, but you do see it before you. It kind of just looks like a box on a pedestal from what you see. But getting closer, you see there's clamps, there's complicated safe mechanisms. But this very much looks like what you need. The others also enter the room. So it's Eli, Gustav, Abraham, and Graves. End it off.
Abraham levels his repeater at Rick. Hey now, this is our score.
And you're not going to get away with it without my help. This is quite complicated.
Graves says, that's one of my boys, Abraham.
Wait, how the hell did they get up? You selling me out?
No, they apparently got the idea on themselves. I've been with you the whole time here.
That does add up. I'm never gonna... I really, by now, should have learned to not underestimate the intellectuals, but question the fuck is with those people appearing out of thin air and shooting... What the fuck was it? Why did those explode?
You probably wouldn't understand
Graves
if we told you.
What if we just said you had a little bit too much opium in that drink back there?
I haven't drank anything today, and I don't do opium.
You sure your friend doesn't feed you any?
I'm positive.
Kara slips down the ladder into the group of outlaws and says, "Here's a suggestion. Don't ask questions you don't want answers to."
Well, I want answers to these.
No, you don't.
We can talk later about
some shit I do.
We can talk later about this, Abraham. Graves gives a little bit of a side eye to Gustav.
Kara reloads the shotgun while Rick does his thing.
Yep. Rick will check out the clamps, see if there's any mechanism that it can do to release and disable any kind of transport inhibiting.
Okie dokie. So you have to roll daring, or let's see. Oh, just inside engineering.
All right. I'm going to. What's the difficulty?
2 on this one.
Yeah, I'll grab a third dice as well. Should I grab 2 dice, or should I use?
I would go.
Use the directive for determination.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, I'm going to use a directive to use my determination to 2 automatic successes. So,
all right.
So
you're going to make child's play. Yep, 4 successes. You earn back that momentum as well from what you spent here and last time. So you're able to make child's play. It's a fun puzzle for you. I mean, it's a complex thing. The inventor was very skilled, but you have an enormous amount of satisfaction in taking a look at this, taking a look at that, seeing how this connects in with that, it doesn't look like it's connected to that mechanism, but you get that full vibe of following an artisan's logic and understanding it yourself. So you feel pretty good about that. And the door opens. Inside is a small parcel, kind of like a football shape, wrapped in delicate paper. Underneath, there's a slight hint of pink.
Do I know anything what this pink might be?
It's a very familiar shade of pink. Something you might have seen in engineering. Like pinkish purplish.
Ah, yee. Okay, yeah. So I think we have what we've come for.
Alright, gotta just send a quick message to Nick. Giving him a little bit of a poke. Just a second. Alright, just a second.
This is what happens when we're trying to deal with multiple people.
Yeah. All right. So, not sure about that, but let's go with it just for the sake of time because we want to finish up within the next 10 minutes here. Actually, just a second. Okay. At that point, Gustav pulls a phaser and points it at Graves.
Cool. I'm in that group. Can I just shoot him?
You're too far back. Like, you basically have a good shot on Graves. You don't have a shot on Gustav. He has kind of positioned himself where he's kind of in the back. He has a really good defensible position. And he's pointing that phaser at Graves. Closest people are Abraham and Eli.
Kara very carefully pulls out her shotgun and levels it at him. You realize the only thing keeping you alive is that he's alive.
You don't have a shot on Gustav.
Okay, how can I not have a shot on him?
He's like in the corner near the door, I guess.
Yeah. So he's in the corner, and I'm seeing is you outside. But this is a setup for Eli to do something.
Yeah,
Eli?
Yeah, Eli pushes Graves out of the way using his own body.
Gustav fires a very high-energy shot, catching Eli in the back. Eli goes down hard.
And
Gustav now steps forward.
Just as Abraham hears the shot ringing out, he turns, draws his single-action army, and fans it into Gustav.
Gustav staggers back towards Kara.
Kara shoots him with both barrels in one shot.
And he is down hard. Down. Graves is looking very stunned, and Rick is holding the dilithium.
Abraham looks pretty exasperatedly. The hell? We didn't talk about a fucking betray. He was going to betray me too.
Gustav, dying breath, says, "Long live Emperor Oimler."
Oh, God.
So Kara moves over and checks on Eli. Unfortunately, the best person to check on Eli would have been Eli.
Well, you could check his pulse. That's easy enough. But there's an issue. There is no pulse.
Eli is down.
No pulse.
So Graves is just looking very stunned. So Rick, what do? You're holding the dilithium.
I want to beam out, but there is the whole issue of actually what Rick will. So is Rick will go outside of the train to where they entered and call Reliant to beam up. That's what he'll do, just so he gets out of vision. To so that what's his name? Abercrombie, not Abercrombie.
Abraham.
Abraham won't actually see him beam out.
All right, so you're able to do that pretty easily, and you beam out. Reliant has kind of been in communication because Setsa was in the caboose with you people and basically stayed behind on transport, or basically tricorder, kind of communicating with the ship. So they've been beamed out the stunned bodies or the dead bodies of the various Terrans, except for Gustav at this point. Graves still looks down at Eli, just reflexively taps his comm badge and says, "Reliant, and himself, Eli, Kara, and Abraham are beamed to the Reliant."
Yeah.
1899 man freaking out now.
Graves puts a hand on Eli or the man's shoulder, says, "We need to have a talk."
No
Kara just looks over at him from where she's next to Eli and says, "I told you don't ask no damn questions you don't want no damn answers to."
Graves looks at Carr and says, "Get him to sickbay now."
Aye.
Abraham just holsters his revolver. Oh, not aliens again.
No, not aliens.
So
Human, but
yeah, Rick would have also, as soon as he beamed aboard, and he would have informed them of the medical situation, and as soon
Ged is standing by.
Yeah, Ged is already standing by.
So they transport Eli and Kara directly to sickbay. Leaving Graves alone, he has the transport officer just step out of the room. So he's alone with Ham. Graves says, "I'm human. I would ask that question of you, though."
Of course I'm human.
Sure about that? How long does human supposed to live?
That doesn't matter. I am human. Whatever afflicts me. How do you know about this? First off.
Well, let's basically put it this way. Kind of know a little bit more about you. About the life you're going to have.
God, it's just like that dime novel about time travel.
I'll put it together. Humans doing all this stuff. I'm a human. Yeah. Also know kind of a few things about this you don't want to tell anyone. First of all, they won't believe you. Second of all, I think you're a good man. And he kind of looks over at where Eli was, and there is a bit of blood there. Says, know the effect you'll have on people. Firsthand. And I want to have this conversation with you. Not just because of what happened. Right now, kind of screaming at myself for it. And this is all I can do to keep myself sane for the moment. But doing the crap you did, hanging out with the people you are, you're better than that.
Yeah, no shit, I'm better than that.
Yeah.
But this
Maybe
world ain't better than that.
Well, there's a big world out there.
And
A lot of ways it can change. Yeah, a lot of ways it can change too. Kind of know which direction you're heading with it. So,
if you know so much, then you should know what I'm going through now has made me into the person you say you know.
Yeah, I do. And I guess for someone I'll call O'Connor, I'm just saying to myself, fuck it. There's regulations, there's some ideas, but right now, just need to tell you, yeah, you can do better. And he just sighs, kind of moves over, just kind of screaming to himself that he should be in sickbay right now, and says to Abraham, stick around if you want for a little bit. Find ways of making you forget what's happened if you want. Or you can just head right back down. Your call.
Well, if I'm going to be made to forget, may as well see what I'm going to forget.
Alright. And he has that moment of like, do I tell Abraham that his son has just been shot and maybe dead? Because he knows that this is Eli O'Connor's father. Someone who shouldn't be alive at this time, but definitely is. And kind of putting the pieces together, he's probably why Hasbro was here. Didn't have anything to do with the Terrans, it had everything to do with the senior O'Connor. So he just says, alright, let's go. And he heads over to sickbay.
There we
Eli!
Go. And Abraham follows.
And what is happening in sickbay right now?
Eli has been pronounced dead.
It's very chipper about that. Yeah. Eli's dead. Okay. So Crab Rave. The weapon was the isolytic weapon that had fired there. So it did damage. A lot of damage. And while Eli's got some regenerative abilities, they weren't enough. So Eli's been pronounced dead by Ged. And Ged is just standing, kind of at the back. Just kind of looking a bit stunned. Kara, too, because I think Kara's also going to be there.
She's there. She doesn't know what to say.
Graves walks in, sees the look on Ged, and just swears under his breath. Says to Connor, well, a friend of mine just died, saving my life.
I've had that happen far too often.
Yeah. As you're going to get wiped for this, might as well tell you, the man's name was Eli O'Connor. He's your son.
Wow, that's That's a big bombshell. Drop?
Yep. He was killed by the man you were riding with. He was dead now, too. That's the thing about consequences. I've lived in shit environments. Places where you really couldn't get by unless you were willing to stiff the other person first. And how I got out of that was just to get out. You got limited options there, but if any of this carries over, any of the impression, just say, you can create something for yourself.
Kara's busy looking around. Fuck?
And it's about this time Rick comes in just without the hollow disguise. So there's this gigantic reptile that just sort of walks into the sick bay and just sort of stops in mid, just sort of looking at the situation, realizing what's going on.
Graves just says to Ged, Ged, we've got a local. A little bit of funny anatomy, but we need to wipe the last day or so from his memory, if you can. Ged just gives a nod, directs one of the nurses to help him out, and says to Abraham, "All right, boy." Oh, God, I can't do the Ged voice. God dang it.
Kara looks over at where Eli's body is and turns to leave the room. Wish I could forget.
Even though Eli is dead, he's got a slight smile on his face. Eyes still open, staring into the ceiling.
Oh, gee, thanks for making it creepier.
Yeah! I mean, he was like that since he died, so...
Ged, okay, Ged closed his eyes. Let's put it that way. Ged does that. So because Ged cares. So he sets together everything for the memory wipe. Gestures Akano over.
Before you do this, do you just have a second where I could scream loudly into something, maybe punch something very hard?
Side room over there.
Thank you.
Those Graves.
He goes into the side room. There's muffled yelling and screaming. Loud thuds as he punches the wall. Followed by kind of like, fuck.
So, Abraham returns. Sits on the biobed. Ged prepares the machinery. Abraham's looking up at the ceiling just before the procedure starts. Does the AI say anything?
I hate time travel.
And with that, he goes night-night. So, as we are a bit past our stop time, I'll go ahead and just kind of, wrap things up. So, the crew has retrieved the dilithium and retrieved any sign of Terran involvement. To everyone, it simply looks like that a group of desperados has simply robbed the train and gotten away with it. It's a minor chapter in local history and not really picked up on. The crew returns to their time. Philip Cray just informs them that they have achieved a satisfactory objective with satisfactory level of disturbance. And Sal gets to the bar, gets a bar of gold from Checkers, waiting for him with a letter. He's beamed back to the ship. And preparations begin for saying goodbye to Eli, which we'll get to in the next episode.
Yay, fun!